L'Shana Tova Tikatevu. Welcome to University Synagogue for this morning of our new year. We're delighted you are with us. Someone once said, make new friends and keep the old. One of our prayer books is silver, that's the one on Yom Kippur, and this morning for Rosh Hashanah, the other one is gold. So for some of you, we return to a very dear friend who we met last year. And for some of us, it's a brand new prayer book. We welcome all of you to find meaning in it throughout these holy days. We're going to turn, friends, this morning to 110 and 111. And I just want you to see what the page looks like for 1 second. And that is that on the right side, you'll see that we have Hebrew and transliteration into English and a translation. And the gray screen page will be a page of a paraphrase or of a poetic interpretation of a prayer. As we wander through the prayer book, you'll also see pages that are in blue, which might have questions for us to think about, which might have a paragraph of study, which may have an insight from our tradition or from modern times. And that gives us all an opportunity to really delve into the prayer book in a bit more depth. So this morning we begin, as we say, Matovu Halecha Yaakov, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your welcoming places, O Israel. And we're going to turn all of us to Psalm 150 on page 135. In the ancient temple, our ancestors welcomed their prayer with a grand variety of musical instruments. You'll see them all on the bottom of 135. As we begin this morning with Psalm 150. Welcome, everybody.
Last night, our synagogue president, Alan Golad, offered welcoming words for this new year, inviting us all to connect, engage, and discover the beauty of this community. Throughout these high holy days, we will hear from members from our synagogue family on their connection with this holy space. Having just heard such a beautiful expression of prayer and spirituality, I'd like to invite up one of our members, Gary Schoenfeld, to share with us some words about his connection to this warm and welcoming, prayerful space.
Every year, like so many of you, Michelle and I leave our High Holy Day services renewed, refreshed, and invigorated to live an even better life. At the same time, the rabbi and the cantor always encourage us to find more opportunity to find meaning by engaging in the synagogue. And last year, we decided to make Shabbat Zimra a priority, and we're very glad that we did. We find that each time we come and join the cantor and the rabbi as they lead those special services, we find that they're creative, they're intimate, and they're spiritual, and they provide great meaning, and we leave with a smile and ready to not only embrace Shabbat, but to embrace the week ahead. So I encourage you to join us, usually the third Friday. Come with friends, come on your own, and enjoy a special evening to celebrate Shabbat. And Rabbi, it always reminds us a bit of Israel. It was about 10 years ago when you told us, go to Kol HaNishima in Jerusalem. And that adds another special dimension. So we look forward to seeing you there. Lashana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Gary, thank you for those beautiful words. We continue together with our morning service as we turn to page 142, and we rise together for Baruch Hu. We come here today seeking to feel hope, inspiration, connection, and a little bit of discomfort. So we ask God, cause me to feel discomfort today. Require me to face that which I avoid all year. Cause me to feel discomfort today. Encourage me to admit fault and learn from my mistakes. Cause me to feel discomfort today. As I stand before you, Adonai, my God, let me be open. Let me be honest. Let me return to my one true self. Return to you. We turn together, page 150, Shema. I invite you to be seated as we invite up our unity officers as we turn to page 152 and 153, as our Unity, our senior youth group officers, will help guide us in our Ve'ahavta, page 152, 153.
Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Al Levavecha Vishinantam Levanecha V'dibarta bam B'shivtecha B'veitecha Ulechtecha B'derech U'shokbecha U'kumecha U'shartam Leot Al Yadecha V'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvisharecha Leman tizkeru V'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kedoshim lelechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lahem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you so much. Our Unity, our senior youth group, is truly something special, and when we see them up here, we know that our community is doing something right. Together, we turn to page 163 as we continue praying together at the bottom of page 163. Remember the stories of slavery. We're going to try that again. So I'm going to read the first line, and you're going to read the second, and we're going to pray this beautiful prayer together. Bottom of page 163. Remember the stories of slavery.
And you will never stop working for freedom.
Remember their fear at the edge of the sea.
And self-doubt will never defeat you.
Remember when desperation turned to celebration.
And you will never let go of hope.
Together, remember the words of the Baal Shem Tov. Forgetfulness leads to exile. Remembrance is the secret of redemption. Page 164, Michamocha.
Israel, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
When any of us steps into a synagogue during the High Holy Days, we are both creating memories for the future, but we also recollect memories that we carry with us. People who were once in this room, people whose memories are upon our hearts. And that may be one of the reasons why the prayer that begins our central section of worship is a prayer that reunites us with our ancestors, with Abraham and Sarah, with Isaac and Rebekah, with Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. When we reflect upon them, we reflect upon all the relatives, all those who fill that chain of tradition from the beginning of the Jewish people until our time now, where we carry the chain forward. And so we turn, friends, to page 168 as we continue with our Avot Imahot, and then the Gvurot on the following page. We're going to be sure to sing Zachrenu. The Hebrew and English letters are here on 168. We invite all who are able to please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah ve'Elohei Rachel Ha'el Ha'gadol Ha'gibor ve'Hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot U'mevi Geula Livnei v'neihem Leman Shemo Be'avo
Zochreinu l'chaim, melech v'chaim, v'chaveinu b'sefer ha'chaim, lemancha Elohim Chaim.
Melech Hazer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham
Join me at the bottom of 170. Your life-giving power is forever, Adonai, with us in life and in death. You liberate and save, cause dew to descend, and with mercy abundant, lovingly nurture all life. From life to death, you are the force that flows without end. You support the falling, heal the sick, free the imprisoned and confined. You are faithful even to those who rest in the dust. Power beyond power, from whom salvation springs, sovereign over life and death, who is like you? Merciful God, who compares with you? With tender compassion, you remember all creatures for life. Faithful and true, worthy of our trust, you sustain our immortal yearnings. In you we place our undying hopes. Wellspring of blessing, power eternal, you are the one who gives and renews all life. And we invite you to take your seats, friends, as we turn to 174 at the top.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא והיום. ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא והיום, ובוא תנשא מלכותך ויקום בחסד כיסאך. ותשב עליו באמת, ותשב עליו באמת. אמת, אמת, כי אתה הוא דיין ומוכיח ויודע ועד. אמת, 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 כי אתה הוא דיין ומוכיח ויודע ועד. וחוטאים, וחוטאים, וסופר ומומת, ותזכור כל נשכחו ושופר גדול ייתקע. ושופר גדול ייתקע. וכל דממה דקה יישמע.
Page 178 in the middle as we continue Unetana Tokef. On Rosh Hashanah, this is written, on the fast of Yom Kippur, with 10 days of our opportunity to change in between, it is sealed.
Oh,
Top of 180, let's read the 3 lines together. But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can discern the harshness of the decree on 182. We who are mortal, our origin is dust and so is our end. We wear out our lives to get our bread, like broken vessels, like withered grass, like a flower that must fade, a shadow moving on, a cloud passing by, mere dust on the wind, a dream that flies away. But for you, ever-living sovereign, time has no limits. Your presence, unbounded by days and years, is everywhere, a glorious mystery none can decipher. Your name is worthy of you, and you are worthy of your name, and our name you have linked with yours. We turn to 184 and rise for the Kedusha prayer of holiness.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר,
Friends, you may be seated as we turn to 196. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. Together, may we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance.
During the High Holy Days, there are special melodies, leitmotifs that you'll hear running throughout our services. And there's one part that you can play a role in. When we say Amen, we're putting our seal of approval on the prayer that just happened. So even if the Hebrew comes difficultly to you, you can play a part in saying those prayers just by saying Amen. And I'm going to teach you how to do it in the High Holiday special melody. And we'll have an opportunity to sing it together 3 times after these 3 blessings on the page, on the bottom of page 196. So the choir is going to help us out, and it's going to go like this: Amen.
Amen.
I think you can all be in the choir. Great.
זכרנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה
Amen.
ופוקדנו בו לברכה
Amen.
והושיענו בו לחיים.
Amen. Friends, we're going to turn to page 202. So, if you were organizing when we should sound the shofar, and you knew that the shofar was also considered a call to arms, that the melody would actually bring the military up at a certain time, the military really doesn't get its act going together by 11:15, 11:30. You actually would have had that organized much, much earlier, and so it was in ancient tradition. But when the shofar was sounded very early in the morning, the enemy, the Romans, thought it was a call to arms and not a call to prayer. An attack came, and so says the legend, the shofar service was moved to later in our service. For us this morning, we actually will sound the shofar at 3 different times during this morning's prayer, and it's my privilege to invite forward our Baal Tikiya, Dr. Joshua Weider, to come forward as we turn to 202, and we invite all who are able to please rise as we begin with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך
On 205 at the top. Page 205 at the top. Ribono shel olam, power of all, have compassion on the souls of Israel. Open their hearts to do teshuvah before you. Open their souls for the sake of returning to you. On 206.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לשמוע קול השופר.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו
Tekiah. Shvarim Teruah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shvarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah. You may be seated. We turn to the bottom of 207.
הרשת שפתנו ירב לפניך הרשת שפתנו ירב לפניך ערב וניסה מבין ומאזין מעריץ ומקשיב לכל תהילתנו ותקבל ברחמים וברצון סדר מלכויותינו.
It was Albert Einstein who said that we all depend on the efforts and the work of so many we have never known nor ever will know. And so we turn to the top of page 211, friends. To our sages who toiled, to the one who chopped wood, to the one who raised cattle, to the storekeeper, the cobbler, and the one who sold salt, to the one who brewed beer and the one who filled casks of wine, to the tailor, the teacher, to the dealer in cotton, to the one who scrubbed clothing, to the keeper of vines, to the merchant of silk, to the one who plowed fields, to the builder of houses, to the doctors and scribes, to the blacksmith, to the tanner, to the digger of graves. Together, friends, let us give thanks for a tradition that sanctifies work. Let us honor those who toil and sustain the world in noble and humble ways. We acknowledge those whose labor goes unnoticed. We praise the strength of their hands and the dedication of their hearts. We continue silently, friends. We turn to page 213 for the words found here or the words found on the tablet of your own heart.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha ba'olam, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Amecha. Ve'or panecha nataha lanu Adonai Eloheinu Torah chaim ve'ahava
page 222. If we have 1,000 people who are with us this morning, I'd suggest that we probably have 1,000 different ideas of how we perceive God. Among that 1,000 would be people who may have a very traditional view, and we'd have a great number of people who might be a bit confused or in doubt or in quest. We might have people who are angry. We might have people who wonder about the whole thing, and some who've given it up. And I think that's probably why on 222, as we approach Avinu Malkeinu, we have a number of ways to describe God, because no one is perfectly clear every day of his or her life about how he or she may feel about God. And so as we turn to Avinu Malkeinu, let's understand that the ancients felt the exact same way, because otherwise they would not have put a prayer together that talked about God being as close to us as a parent and God being as judgmental and far away as a sovereign. So that mixture somehow of Avinu and Malkeinu, of father and king, of compassionate parent and judgmental sovereign, are merged together because somehow in that merger of all of the things that we may perceive about God, we may continue to find our path towards the God that unites us all. And so we turn, friends, to 223. I invite all who are able to please rise.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu, Ve'alol aleinu, Ve'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kotvenu beSefer Chaim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Arish Aleinu, Arish Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu, Shema Kolenu, Shema Kolenu.
Join us at the bottom of 223 in the folk version of Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu
Malkeinu, Vanenu, vanenu, ki ein banu masim, asei manu, tzedaka v'chesed, asei manu, tzedaka v'chesed, le'oshireinu, avinu malkeinu. Page 228. Harvatam leitim, achanetotehem lemazbeot. The middle of page 228, the watchword of our faith, always recited and sung in the middle of our service for the reading of Torah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Gadlu l'Adonai itino Roma mashemo yachdav. Magnify the eternal with me. Let us exalt God's name together.
Lecha Adonai hagedula ve'hagevura ve'hatiferet ve'hanetzach ve'ha'od ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz lecha Adonai הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו ישתחוו להר קודשו.
על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות
Okay, here we go. Ready? Set.
חסדים.
Come on, everybody.
כי מציון
Boom.
תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים.
Stop walking.
כי
Give
מציון
about 5 or 6 rows.
תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי מציון
מציון
תצא תורה
תצא תורה
ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי
Thank
מציון
you. Here, Holly.
תצא תורה
You're going to
ודבר
do great.
ה' מירושלים.
No more sorrow.
ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, תורה לעמו ישראל.
And we're going to pass to Susie
ברוך
over here. Thank you.
שנתן
Now, Susie.
תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Florida, so you
כי
gotta do it
מציון תצא
Say
תורה
Torah.
ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, תורה לעמו ישראל. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר ה' מירושלים. ישראל ואורייתא וקודשא בריחו והרו. ישראל ואורייתא וקודשא בריחו והרו. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה. תורה אורה, תורה אורה, הללויה.
You may be seated. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Friends, you can follow the Torah reading this morning in our prayer book by turning to, I'll find it, I promise you. Page 240, the binding of Isaac. It's my privilege to invite forward for our first Aliyah the past presidents of University Synagogue. We're going to invite forward our Torah readers at this time. If they'd all come up here in the order in which I call them, they'll be reading Emily Badner, Zev Spencer Shapiro, Mira Chaskis, Jordan Tushin, and Rachel Weiss. This is in Texas. That's in Texas.
She's coming right up. She's right there.
Okay, we'll wait for her. Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayechi Achar Hadvarim Ha'elach V'cha Elohim Nisa et Avraham Vayomer Elav Avraham Vayomer Hineni Vayomer Kachna et binecha et yichidecha asher achavta et Yitzchak v'lech lecha el eretz hamoria v'cha'aleu sham le'olam al echad chacharim asher omar elecha vayashkem avraham aboker vayachavosh et tamaro vayikach et shenein arav ito ve'et Yitzchak beno Vayivaka aseh olah, vayakum vayelech el hamakom asher amar lo ha'elohim. Bayom hashlishi, vayisa Avraham et einav, vayar et hamakom merachok. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For our next group of Aliyot, we invite forward a gigantic group of campers from University Synagogue who attended Nifty camps this summer, both at Camp Newman and at 6 Points Sports Camp. We've also had kids who've been on the twinning program sponsored by the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles and went to Israel, and then their twins from Israel came here. That's for our 8th graders. And we had some who participated in the Maccabia games, both at St. Louis and at Stamford, Connecticut. So we're going to invite all those kids up forward now. Zach Jacobs, Zev Spencer Shapiro as our Torah reader, Asher Bank, Reuben Bank, Chloe Pearl, Alan Schultz, Bennett Golad, Joe Wiener, Chloe Kaufman, Eliana Feinstein, Renata Feinstein, Hannah Goldsobel, Lucas Goldsobel, Mira Chaskis, Ben Turkel, and Gia Friedberg.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Avraham El Ne'arav Shevu lachem po im hachamor Va'ani v'hanar Nelcha ad ko V'nishtachave v'nashuva Alechem. Vayikach Avraham et atzei ha'olah. Vayasem al Yitzchak beno. Vayikach beyado et ha'esh ve'et ha'machelet. Vayelchu shnehem yachdav. Vayomer Yitzchak el Avraham aviv. Vayomer avi. Vayomer hineni v'ni. Vayomer hine ha'esh v'ha'aitzim. V'ayehaseh le'olah. Vayomer Avraham Elohim Yireh lo haseh le'olah beni. Vayelchu shnehem yachdav. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. For our third group this morning, we invite forward the officers of our sisterhood. Sisterhood officers, come forward and join us at this time. Mira Chaskis is going to be our Torah reader. You can follow in the reading. We're at the last two lines on page 240. Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
El Hamakom Asher Malo Elohim Vayiven Sham Avraham Et HaMizbeach Vaya'aroch Et Haitzim Vaya'aroch Et Yitzchak Beno Vayasem Oto Al HaMizbeach Mima la'etzim. Vayishlach Avraham et yado. Vayikach et hama'achelet. Lishchot et beno. Vayikra elav. Vayishlach Adonai min hashamayim. Vayomer Avraham, Avraham, Vayomer Hineni.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Our Torah reader is Jordan Tushin, and we invite forward the coordinators and liaisons from our different chavurot within the synagogue, among whom are Steve and Julie Bank, Carrie Larson, Torin and Ellen Dorifs, Alec and Tamara Levinson, Charles Stickney and Daniela Lowenthal, Sarah and Russell Karabkin, Tony and Chelsea Malk, Bill and Bonnie Sanders, Danny and Eva Les Simon, Gail and Bob Israel, Berta and Steve Greenberg, Daphne and Sam Radfar. Among them were also chavurot liaisons with much younger children who were here earlier this morning. So we invite all of them forward who are present. As we turn, friends, to the Torah reading, you can follow on 241, verse 12. Baruch Hu
Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer al tishlach yadha el hana'ar ve'al te'aslo me'uma ki ata yadati ki are Elohim ata ve'lo hasachta et bincha et yehidha mimeni vayisa Avraham et einav Vayar vehine ayil ahar ne'ehaz basvach bekarnav vayele Avraham vaykata ayil vayalehu le'ola tahat beno vayikra Avraham Shem hamakom hahu Adonai yireh Asher yeomer hayom bahar Adonai yera'eh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For our fifth Aliyah this morning, we invite Rabbi Joel Simons, who is beginning his 10th year with University Synagogue. Haha, he didn't know it was coming either. And as we surprise him, Yamod Harav Chaim Shlomo ben Yisrael v'Shulamit lichvod haTorah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayikra Malach Adonai el Avraham, shenid min hashamayim. Vayomer ben nishbati nehum Adonai ki asher asita et hadabar hazeh below hasakta et binha et yehideha ki barei avarecheha beharba arbe et zareha kehavei hashamayim behaho asher al samakta al safat hayom vere Vayirash Saraha et Samhar Shav Vahit Hav Vahit Barahu Bezaraha Kol Goye Haaretz Ekev Asher Samhakta Bekoli Vayashav Abraham El Nariv Vayakama Vayakumu Vayelecho Vayuchaktav Abraham Al Be'er Shavad Vayishav Abraham Bevarei Shama
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Our Torah reader was Rachel Weiss. We thank all our Torah readers and all our Olim LaTorah as we turn, friends, to 246. For this is the Torah which Moses read before the Jewish people to fulfill the word of God. Oh no, it's not falling.
Israel,
Very heavy. You may be seated, friends. While the Torah is being held, we also hold spiritually the hands of our friends and our family who may be ill. We invite you, God, to strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. As we mention those who are in need of healing, guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. If you know the name of someone you would like to mention at this time, please feel comfortable in doing so. For as we mention their names, we gain strength from one another and pray for the welfare of all within our community.
Sandy Levy, Peter Shapiro, Shanika Reed.
We hold all their names in our hearts, friends, as we return to our Misha Berach prayer for healing.
Misha Berach, Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, Hu Yevarech, veYirapeh et HaCholim.
Our Haftarah this morning, we invite forward to offer the blessings Emily Glenn, and our Haftarah chanter is Alan Schultz. You can follow the blessings on 247, and the reading from the book of Samuel 1 will be found on 250.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'neviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nevi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Amen.
And there was a man from Ramathaim Tzophim, from the hills of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, God creates, son of Yeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tahu, son of Tzuf, an Ephraimite. And he had two wives, one named Hannah, Grace, and the other named Pinnah, Pearl. Pinnah had children, and Hannah had no children. And this man would go up from his town every year to worship at Shiloh and make offerings to the Eternal of heaven's hosts. And there Eli's two sons, Hophni and Pinchas, were priests of the Eternal, and on the day when Elkanah would make offerings, he would give portions to his wife, Peninnah, and to each of her sons and daughters. And to Hannah he would give a special portion, because he loved Hannah, and the Eternal had closed her womb.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sur kol haolamim sadik bechol hadorot ha'el haneman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem shechol divara emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al haniviim ve'al yom hazikaron hazeh שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך. יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד, ודברך אמת וקיים לעד. Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, ve'yom hazikaron.
Amen. Let us rise, friends, as we return the Torah to the ark. Thank you. Be seated. It's only been 1 month since my family and I stood here as Renata and Eliana became Benot Mitzvah on this bima. What an amazing feeling. Like many of you, I felt the pride and joy, laughed and cried during the service. Our little girls, right before our eyes and right before many of yours, have grown up to become young women. And because they feel this synagogue is their home away from home, I want to make sure I begin today by thanking you for all your love and support all these years. Home is a place where we are supposed to feel secure, welcomed, and loved. Irving Berlin wrote it best. God bless America, my home, sweet home. But it hasn't always been easy this past year to feel at ease, comfortable, protected, and safe. One of our congregants had family inside the Parisian Bataclan Theater, who luckily left because they felt something wrong and walked out before the attack. The events in San Bernardino turned up our individual tension meters. The Orlando massacre targeted the Latino and LGBTQ community, while innocent blacks and whites, citizens and police have been murdered in Charleston, Dallas, Baton Rouge, Minneapolis, Charlotte, Tulsa, Houston. We've had deaths in Los Angeles just the last few days, on city streets, in malls, and in churches. There have been terror attacks in Brussels and Paris and Nice, bombs again in Manhattan and New Jersey, depressing days which have filled us with dread. From refugees fleeing a devastated Syria to the ongoing destruction of the Middle East in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, we are feeling pretty helpless. Some of us feared going to work, traveling on a plane, going into a large public place. On New Year's Day, January 1, Margaret, the girls, and I were in Tel Aviv. We turned a corner on Dizengoff, the main avenue, where 2 hours later a terrorist took a gun from his backpack and shot up and killed 3 people inside the coffee bar. It could have been us. We know that the goal of terrorists is the disruption of our free and open democratic society, to make us afraid. Yet many of us did call our children a few more times, checked our text messages a little bit more often, held our little ones even closer, and kept our families together. Each of us finds such a day, when these things happen, a day of no words. We are so grateful and have such respect for the first responders, the police, medical care teams, as we respond with our own stunned silence, our shared tears, our torn hearts, our tearful prayers, our questions which have no answers. We look around, we see flags at half-staff, and we can't even figure out for which tragedy they've been lowered. Almost 50% of Americans feel their way of life is under siege. The LA Times charted the worldwide toll of deaths and injuries from terror in one single month last spring. They confirmed 858 deaths in 27 countries, with an additional 1,385 injured. People feel threatened. We fear the unknown and the unknowable. A friend of mine has an app on his phone which began flashing alert notifications about a terrorist attack. His heart raced. He grew nervous. He found out it was in Thailand's tourist sites, and the paper the next day offered more details: 4 killed, a dozen injured. Technology makes those events that are far away feel very much at home, so real. There was a panic at LA International Airport just 6 weeks ago, and it was amplified by phone messages and texts. Terrorist attacks in faraway countries are felt here and now. We watch as the banners multiply on our phones, and their screen images bring everything to our eyes. Fear of what may be and what is may haunt us. Now, the traditional Jewish liturgy ends each service with an audacious call: Al tira me pachad pitom. Do not be afraid of sudden anxiety. How is that possible? How could the final words of prayer be such audacious words to be ready for the day ahead? Don't fear. And we have been rocked now with an anti-Semitism from campus to capital that is both age-old and brand new. The Jews of prior centuries felt anti-Jewish hatred, whether at the hands of the Romans or the Crusaders, through pogrom or persecution, and they ended their prayer each day: Al tira, fear not. In our day, anti-Jewish hatred thrives in the Arabic-speaking world, in Iran, over the internet. Anti-Semitism is alive and well, living like a cruel weed under rocks in European capitals, in British Parliament, and here in the United States too. How can we not feel anxious? Our people have experienced the terror of death and destruction, of families gripped in mourning, of a people assaulted for being who they are. Saturday's New York Times reported a student at Brown University who can't walk into the men's room without seeing Nazi insignia and without being unable to participate in activities because he is a leader of campus Jewish activities. These things are assaults on who we are as Jews. These things come upon us suddenly. We have no warning. They produce anxiety, and they give us a feeling of helplessness. That sense of fear is a distressing emotion aroused by impending danger, evil, or pain, whether the threat is real or imagined. Fear can spiritually and emotionally paralyze us. We might be unable to look beyond the crisis or troubles in our lives. Fear can make us feel as if circumstances will never change. We yearn to know that everything will be all right, that things will improve and get better, and perhaps that's why the prayer ended Al Tira. Our fears, friends, however real or imagined they may be, cannot chart the course of our lives. What do we need to carry on in this new year? Resilience, indeed, is that ineffable virtue which allows us to come back stronger, even when we have been knocked down by the tragedies of life. Rather than let failure overcome us and drain our resolve, we can endeavor to rise above our defeats. With resilience, we can harness our inner strength to rebound from defeat and despair. It will not make the problems disappear, but we need to find the way to look beyond the here and now to handle the things that we come across in life. We have to draw on our interpersonal strength, on our friends, our family, our community, and yes, our synagogue to help us overcome adversity. Resilient people seek meaning even in times of trouble and gain confidence from one another. In this way, resilience can contribute to hope. How did prior generations handle the destructive events which changed their lives forever? They did not despair in the year 70 when the city of Jerusalem was demolished and we were exiled from Israel. They did not despair in 1492 when the Inquisition decimated our ancestors and we were exiled from Spain. They did not despair in 1648 when Bogdan Khmelnytsky and the Cossacks struck terror on the plains of Eastern Europe. They did not despair in 1881 when a large-scale wave of anti-Jewish terror swept through present-day Ukraine and Poland. They did not despair in 1938 when Kristallnacht saw broken glass and Jewish-owned stores destroyed. They did not despair in 1939 when the Shoah began. So what is the difference between 70 and 1492, 1648, 1881, 1938, 1939, and now? With all the anti-Semitism that exists in the world today, we have and need Israel as a safe haven for Jews from Ethiopia, Morocco, Belgium, and France. Thank God our people have somewhere to go when they do not feel safe where they are. Israel gives us hope and proves that hope is not out of reach. The state of Israel exists because our ancestors never stopped dreaming. Hatikva, the hope. The world of our ancestors was a difficult one. They had times when they had multiple reasons to despair, but they did not. When problems arose, when all seemed bleak, they never forgot their hope of a better world, of a world at peace, of a world redeemed. Because, my friends, if we forget to hope at this dawn of a new year, then we will be overwhelmed and immobilized by despair. But if their sense of hope could strive within them to create a better reality, so can we. Sometimes it is the small yet critical gesture of kindness which can instill hope. Viktor Frankl was a prominent Jewish psychiatrist and neurologist in Vienna who survived Auschwitz. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning about his experiences in the camps. After his liberation, Frankl told of a patient who phoned him in the middle of the night to tell him very calmly that she was going to commit suicide. He kept her on the phone for 2 hours, giving her every conceivable reason to live with hope. Eventually, she told Frankl that she changed her mind and would not end her life. When he next saw the woman, he asked her, Which of his many reasons had persuaded her to change her mind? She said, none of them. Why didn't you decide not to commit suicide? She replied that if someone was willing to listen to her for 2 hours in the middle of the night, that convinced her that life was worth living after all, for it gave her hope. When Andrew DeVries was recovering from a serious accident which shattered his leg, he met a doctor who helped him navigate his way back to health. The damage was so pervasive that surgeons began to prepare DeVries for the likely chance that his leg would be amputated. He was an athletic guy, and this was really scary. Everybody was making plans for my life without a leg when a young physician named Sarah Scholl came up to me and said, "Andy, what kind of golf ball do you play?" DeVries thought talking about golf balls seemed almost idiotic. The next day, DeVries awoke to find flowers in his room. And right in the middle of all those flowers was a yellow 12-pack of his favorite golf balls from Titleist. Dr. Sarah had purchased those for me, DeVries wrote. Sarah brought hope. She helped me stop feeling sorry for myself and brought me a glimmer of hope. DeVries underwent another surgery, one that could result in amputation, but he gratefully woke up in recovery with 10 toes. When he was released from the hospital, Dr. Scholl wheeled him out to the ambulance for the ride home and asked him a favor. Scholl told DeVries that she lost her father some time ago. When the time came, she wanted to know if he would walk her down the aisle to give her away at a wedding. I said, "Sarah, you don't have a boyfriend." The doctor replied, "Someday I will." DeVries wasn't sure if he'd ever get out of his wheelchair. It took him 5 years to recover fully from the injury to his leg. He and Scholl stayed in touch. And this past summer, DeVries got an email from the doctor saying, "I'm about to be married. Will you come?" DeVries had the privilege of walking Dr. Sarah Scholl down the aisle. Hope filled both their lives with light. Even in Auschwitz, there were moments of light. Rabbi Hugo Green was a Holocaust survivor from Czechoslovakia. When he was a young boy, his family was sent to Auschwitz. For a while, he and his father shared a barrack. In spite of the unspeakable horror, the oppression, and the hardship, many Jews held on to what scraps of Jewish religious observances they were able. One midwinter evening, an inmate remembered that it would be the first night of Hanukkah, the festival of light. The young Green watched his father construct a little Chanukiah out of a piece of scrap metal. For a wick, he ripped some threads from a prison uniform. For oil, he used some butter that he had somehow obtained from a guard. Such observances were strictly verboten, but they were used to taking risks. Young Hugo complained to his father that they were wasting precious calories. Wouldn't it be better to share the butter on a crust of bread than to burn it? Hugo, said his father, "Both you and I know that a person can live a very long time without food. But Hugo, I tell you, a person cannot live without hope. Not a single day. This menorah is the fire of hope. Never let it go out. Not here, not anywhere. Remember that, Hugo." Friends, we are Asirei Tikva. We are prisoners of hope. We can never give in to despair. We must always live with hope. In our caring for one another in significant ways, may we change the world for the better. May we always light a menorah of hope and give light to all who need it throughout the year ahead. Amen.
Zokrenu. Remember us. Zokrenu. Crown of creation, lover of life, remember us. Zokrenu. When you fill the cup of life, and for your sake, author of life, make us characters on your page, names that live for your sake. For your sake. Between the covers of your book. Zokrenu. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Zokrenu. Zokrenu. Zokrenu.
We continue our service on page 267. We invite back up our Balt Kia, Dr. Joshua Weider, as we enter into the Zichronot, the remembrance section of our shofar service. Page 267. God of remembrance, remember the covenant of our ancestors, reaffirm it today. Remember we are a people of noble ideals, help us attain them. Remember all your people, all the nations on the road to peace, bless their efforts. Remember with mercy the binding of Isaac, the sorrow of Sarah, Abraham's words, Hineni, here I am.
Baruch atah Adonai zocher haberit.
We ask you to please rise for the sounding of our shofar. Tekiah, Shivarim Truah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shivarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Truah, Tekiah.
Arashat Zifatenu Yarav Zifanecha Erom Benisa. Arashat Zifatenu Yarav Zifanecha Erom Benisa. Mevinu Mazir Mavidu Bakshi Lemol Lemol Tiriatenu. Utkabel Merachamim Merachamim Ratzon Seder Seder Zichronotenu.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
I'm Alan Golad, and I have the privilege to serve as the president of University Synagogue. It is my honor to introduce the congregants and clergy who joined us on the bema today. On my far left in the first row, Ivan Kalik, Deborah Kalik, Stephanie Carson, Jonathan Carson. In the second row, Kevin Niku, Terry Niku, Rabbi Feinstein, of course. And on my far right, in the first row, Jeff Melvoin, Martha Melvoin, Matt Schwartz, Allison Schwartz, Cantor Shapiro, Rabbi Simons, and is Lynette still with us? And Lynette is somewhere. Thank you. Please take the time over the holidays to read and complete these interest cards. They're in your prayer books, or you can find them in the tables in the lobby. These cards list many wonderful opportunities for you to get involved here at University Synagogue. Also, please pick up a grocery bag as you leave the synagogue today and return them on Yom Kippur with non-perishable food and toiletries. In addition to Sova, we are partnering with the St. Joseph Center as we join them in their effort to fight homelessness in our city. I'd like to thank Barry Sykoff and our Usher Corps, our Executive Director, Lisa Beth Lobenthal, and her great staff for making things so easy for all of us. It's a tremendous amount of work, and they do a great job. I want to thank our clergy for their inspirational leadership, and we're grateful to Susan and the choir for the joy and warmth you bring to our services. And of course, many thanks to Josh Weeder for sharing his incomparable chauffeur talents with us. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Jeff Melvoin.
Shana Tova. What a great pleasure it is to share this wonderful day with all of you. I'm Jeff Melvoin, past president of University Synagogue, and I want to speak to you very briefly about Judaism, tradition, and the New England Patriots. If you're not a football fan, help is available. But here's all you need to know this morning. Like Judaism, the Patriots are considered a religion in New England, where I was born. Like Judaism, the Patriots and their fans are a beleaguered minority, historically forced to endure the slings and arrows of disbelievers outside the tribe. And like Judaism, as Rabbi Feinstein so eloquently referenced, when faced with adversity, the Patriots have shown a remarkable ability to respond, which we will have to do after yesterday's humiliation at the hands of the hated Rex Ryan and the Buffalo Bills, not to mention some questionable refereeing, but I digress. Why have the Patriots succeeded? Because the organization is bigger than any one individual. The core values and beliefs, the devotion to one another, have pulled them through time and time again, like Judaism. Like University Synagogue, where the tradition in recent years has been for me to deliver the annual peal at this point in our Rosh Hashanah service. Today, however, we have a new quarterback under center. Younger, more mobile in the pocket, better looking. It happens. And I know the team will rally behind him. He's not exactly an unfamiliar face. I may not be ready to have my jersey retired, but it is truly my privilege and pleasure to bring forth once again my teacher, my friend, a shining light in our community, and a hope for our future, Rabbi Joel Simons.
When I first arrived here at University Synagogue in the fall of 2007, the renovation process had begun on our building. The walls had been knocked down, a green fence erected in the front, and construction was underway. As I stand here 10 High Holy Days later in this beautiful building, I continue to be amazed at the spiritually transformative nature of this place. But to truly understand the beauty of this synagogue, we must look beyond the stucco and the art. What some see as a stairwell, we see as the place where our preschool children learn their left from their right. What some see out there as a hallway, we see as a path of remembrance. Names of loved ones forever memorialized in this building. Their graves might be in cemeteries, an airplane flight away. But every moment we enter this building, be it for a religious school drop-off, a committee meeting, or a Shabbat service, we can walk by their plaque, touch their name, and remember their smile. What some see as cookies and coffee at the Oneg on a Friday night, we see as that one moment in the week when multiple generations can gather in a room and reconnect with tradition and community. Where else in our modern-day society can you find a teen, a family of 5, newlyweds, empty nesters, the stranger and the widow, coming together on a Friday night where we are all one community? And what some see as people reading old books, we see as an intergenerational gathering on a Saturday morning, exploring the beauty of our tradition. And finally, what some see as a youth lounge where the couches are old and the music is loud, we see as that one place where our youth can come and avoid the stress, pressure, and cruelty of the real world. A room where bullying does not exist. A room where boys can cry and hug each other. A room where girls can feel safe, and a room where acceptance is the only rule. My father-in-law often reminds me that a synagogue should be that special home in our lives so that if we move away from a city, it's not the restaurants that we will miss, but the synagogue community. And this synagogue community, this is what holiness looks like. This is why I am here. It's where my wife Ariella and I brought our children Noah and Zev into the covenant of our people. It's where our shy daughter can come to explore her potential. It's where our curious son comes and asks, "Can I see God?" It's the place where our Eklat playground one day is filled with children and the next day gathers 400 people to welcome in Shabbat, to welcome in community, to share a meal cooked by our past presidents and board members, and to show us all what community truly has to offer. It's where the memory of my grandparents continues to be a blessing. This synagogue, University Synagogue, is home. And it's one of my greatest honors and mitzvahs to support this home. As we know, sometimes home ownership takes care and it takes generosity. We must ensure that the beauty of our synagogue does not languish. This is the time to look within and help support our community above and beyond the beautiful and generous ways you have already given. And so we look at these envelopes and we think about our pledge. We think about the beauty of this place. We think about the mitzvah that we are about to do. It's the mitzvah of pledging through this envelope. Not quite yet, but it's okay. Probably 10 more sentences. But the music is beautiful. It's the mitzvah of this envelope that ensures our teens have an emotionally and physically beautiful place to gather. The mitzvah of this envelope gives empty nesters a home to laugh, cry, and find new meaning in a new chapter of life. The mitzvah of this envelope ensures that from our youngest learners to our veteran members, all have a place to come and share a connection. The mitzvah of this envelope ensures that in a world sometimes void of meaning, we can continue to create a community and a space where we can discover hope. The mitzvah of this envelope ensures that our kids, my kids, have a pulpit for their B'nai Mitzvah, have a youth lounge for those years of questions, and have a community to grow. So let us search our hearts and pledge as generously as we can so that we can continue to provide this home for our generation and future generations. Our ushers in just a moment will circulate and collect these envelopes. And just one final thought. As Rabbi Feinstein reminded us, when we sometimes look around at this world, we toss up our hands in despair. But when we walk inside this building, we know that we truly are doing something right. Thank you for engaging in this mitzvah together. And let's continue to support and sustain this beautiful community. Shana Tova. We're almost done. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, good. Yasher, how'd that feel? Felt good, right? Yes, of course. It was perfect.
I didn't even mention my check. Friends, let us turn to page 281. We thank you ever so much for your generosity, and throughout these holy days and throughout this fall, we'll be very grateful to collect your contribution. We're very grateful. Page 281, we turn again for our third set of shofar blasts to Dr. Joshua Weider as we call upon Dr. Weider, and we're going to go straight to 284. Let us rise.
Baruch atah shomea kol teruam o Yisrael berachamim.
Tekiah. Shvarim teruah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shvarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah. Please remain standing as we turn to Aleinu, page 286.
Aleinu leshabeach l'Adonai kol latit gedolah liotzer bereshit shelo hasanu kigoyei haratzot velo samanu kimishpechot האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו כהנים ומשתחווים ומודים.
May the time not be distant, our God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when lies and bigotry shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. So may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your dominion be established on earth, and the word of your ancient seer be fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. As it has been said, Adonai shall reign over all the earth. On that day Adonai shall be one, and God's name shall be one. 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. So it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, especially the memory of the Prime Minister and President of the State of Israel, Shimon Peres, those who died at the season in years past as well. Our hearts open to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. (292) Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ba'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach la'alam la'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudusha richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. There will be a memorial service for Shimon Peres on behalf of the Jewish community of Greater Los Angeles, co-sponsored by the Consul General's Office of the State of Israel here in LA. The service will be this coming Thursday night at Stephen S. Wise. Doors will open at 6 o'clock. We invite all who are able to join us. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn and comfort all who are saddened among us here and wherever they may be. We say together, Amen. Page 294, I want to thank all whom Alan mentioned. I'm not going to repeat all those names, but I especially want to thank my clergy colleagues and all the members of the choir and Susan for the gorgeous music. And we hope to see you for Yom Kippur with full grocery bags and ready for these next 10 days of repentance. 294, Hayom.
Hayom, 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 hayom. Hayom, 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 tevachenu. Hayom, 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 tigadleinu. Hayom, 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 hayom. Hayom, 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 tiktikinu chayim tovim.
Amen.
Hayom, 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 tishma shavatenu.
Amen.
Hayom, 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 hayom,
Amen. L'shana tova tikatevu. May this be a year of good health and happiness for us all. Shalom, shana tova.
L'shana tova
Tikatevu. L'shana tova tikatevu.